All right, in this code along, I'd like to use loops in order to solve this problem of finding the sum of the integers from 1 to 100, or 1 to any number. And it's kind of an interesting story, but I'll talk to you about it while we get set up, because I've got some start code here. Now, I've been having issues with loading the start code from REPL, like importing from GitHub. So I'm just going to try something a little different here. I'm just going to go to GitHub, and here's all the start code. I'm just going to download it. I can download it as a zip, and that should take me to my downloads folder. Here it is. I'm just going to right click on this and say extract all, and a little window pops up here, and sure, I'll just do the default extract. So see the little zipper there, that's the zip project, and here's the unzipped project, and it's got another folder in there, and then there's all my stuff. So what I'm going to try to do here is, let's make this side by side, and I'm just going to go to REPL, and I'm going to create a new REPL called Story of Gauss, and we'll create that. Oh, I'm in the wrong spot actually here. Go to CS10 Basic Training, and then create it. And yeah, like I said, importing from GitHub was having issues. It wasn't loading for me. It was kind of acting kind of weird. So what I'm going to try to do now is just import the files. So I'm hoping I can just take the ones that I need, all of these things, and drag them in here. And yes, I want to replace them. Okay, and if I hit run, hopefully, hey, there it is. Okay, good. Okay, and I think we'll launch this in here. Open up our console. A little fave icon warning. That's not a big deal. Okay, so now that we're set up, I don't need this anymore, but I need this. So I'm just going to go to my script.js, and most of the time that we're going to have, actually I could program in here too, we'll see. Most of the stuff we'll be doing is in script.js here because all the HTML and CSS is done. So anyway, the story of Gauss is this idea. I always heard it like he was an elementary kid and his teacher, challenged the class. Hey, whoever can find the sum of the integers from 1 to 100, if you can figure that out, you can go home early, or you can go play outside or something like that. And everyone starts taking out their tablets, not like electronic tablets, but they're like chalk tablets, and 1 plus 2 is 3, and then 3 plus 3 is 6, and 6 plus 4 is 10, and 10 plus 5 is 15, right? And you got, and man, what a tedious long task. And Gauss came up with this awesome technique and ended up figuring it out in like a couple seconds and said, here's the answer. Now, we're going to we'll look at how Gauss did it, but first we're going to say, well, we actually have tablets, we have computers, we have electronics that are powerful and can do calculations quickly. So we're going to actually do this with our computer first. So what I'm going to suggest is we're looking at 1 to 100. I want to find the sum from 1 to 100. So why don't we start by just adding an event listener to this button. The button has an ID called calc button. I'm just going to copy that. And we'll go add event listener document.get element by ID calc button, like so. And actually, hold on, let's do this the way we've been doing it. Let's be consistent. Have a title. Let's do our HTML elements. So cut that, Control X, and paste it. And let calc btn be assigned that. And then here I can go calc btn event listener, click, and we'll just say calc sum, maybe is a good function name. And we'll define that function here so that when I click this button, we will calculate the sum. Okay, and the first thing I'm going to do is let's just make sure we review our loops, and let's print the integers 1 to 100. Okay, so I'm going to use a for loop because usually for loops are the most useful when we do number patterns. So for let, I'm just going to use n for number. We're going to initialize it to 1. Remember, a for loop has these 3 parts, right? The initialize part. And then I have to do a test. N is less than or equal to 100. And then I want to update my variable n++, increase it by 1. And let's just go console.log n, just to make sure this works. Okay, so let's run this. And now when I hit calculate sum, yay, we should see the numbers 1 to 100. Awesome. Okay, so that was fast. Our computer's good at doing these loops over and over and over again. Now, here's where the key things is. This was just review. We know how to do event listeners. We know how to do functions. We know how to do loops. The new idea here is calculating a sum. And it's it's called an accumulation algorithm, right? We want to accumulate a total, okay? So to do that before, and now we're going to change this, we don't want to print the integers, we want to sum the integers from 1 to 100. So I'm going to create a variable before my loop and initialize it to 0. And we could do sum, or let's just do total. So let total be assigned 0. So I create this total variable, initialize it to 0. And now what I want to do, I guess, is I want to take total and say, hey, my series of numbers of integers starts at 1. So I'm going to go total is assigned total plus 1. And then I want to say, well, now total is going to be total plus 2. Total is assigned total plus 3. Total is assigned total plus 4. Right? I want to say, okay, the first number in my pattern is 1. Let's add that. The next is 2. Let's add that to what was currently there, right? 1 plus 2 is 3. Total is now 3, so 3 plus 3 is 6. Total is now 6, so 6 plus 4 is 10, and so on. Now, this will work, but I'd have to write this line of code over and over again all the way to 100. So that's what our loop is for. So what I can do here is, instead of console.log, I can just do that total is assigned total plus, and this pattern of numbers, the 1, 2, 3, 4, is going to be my n variable. So I just need to add n to it. And then I don't need this stuff. Right, so total starts at 0. The first time through this loop, I'm going to add 1 to 0. The next time through the loop, I'm going to add 2 to the 1 that was there to get 3. The next time through the loop, I'll add 3 to the 3 that was there to get 6, etc., etc. And then here I can finally go console.log total, and the answer should be 5,050. Let's see what happens. We'll hit run, calculate sum, ta-da! And that was very fast, and we could go out and play outside because we found the sum if we had a computer tablet. All right, so anyway, that's the accumulation algorithm. One last thing I'll quickly do in this is just get the output here. Sum out is right there. So where am I? Right here, sum out. Let sum out be assigned document like so. I think that's what I did. I just looked at it. There we go. I should have copied and pasted. And then here I can just do, instead of console, I can go sum out dot inner HTML is assigned total. Run, and boom, and there we go, right there. Okay, some integers, and then maybe a comment here, output the result, or output the total. All right, now a little exercise for you guys. What I'd like you to do is, this is great. This will work from 1 to 100. Now, we could say, what if I wanted the sum of the numbers of 1 to 1,000? Well, no problem. We could still do that, and we'd get 500,500, which is the correct answer. Let's test something here. 1 to 5, I think, should have an answer of 15. 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 plus 3 is 6, 6 plus 4 is 10, 10 plus 5 is 15. So this should get me 15. Awesome. Okay, so little exercise for you guys. What I want you to do is improve this program and say, hey, let the user enter a value for n, that last number, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 5, right? Hit calculate sum, get this input value, and use that input value to tell this loop when to stop. Okay, and then you would say sum of 1 to, you'd replace this question mark with whatever is in here. So sum of 1 to 5 is 15. Okay, so that's a little exercise for you guys to do. If you really wanted to get fancy, you could even do some input like validation here, because n should be greater than 1, right? So you make sure they don't enter negative numbers and stuff like that. And you might even want to put a limit on the max value, because if you do too large of a value for n, even our computers start to bog down and aren't happy. Anyway, the key to this was that accumulation algorithm, right? We're using this loop to generate the pattern of numbers, and then this total variable where we add those numbers to the total so it accumulates and grows. Okay, hope that made sense. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video.